Swift smashes The Rock. Peaky Blinders creator and star dish on the new series. And we take a look at fall 2025's offerings on big screen and small. All that and more coming up right after this. Welcome to Multiverse News, your source for information about all your favorite fictional universes. My name is Matthew Carroll, and with me on the panel today, we got Jay Sisson. What's happening, Jay?
Hey, not too much. Not a lot of news this week, but sometimes that's when we are at our best, whenever we're just freestyling. So
absolutely, this is going to be some improv news. And Haley,
it's dangerous.
I'm already on a dangerous precipice tonight, so this lack of structure could be bad. We'll find out. Yeah.
We're not going to hand you in at all.
She just said so.
No fences around Haley in her wild mood she's in. And J. Scotty St. Clair.
Ooh, it's officially October, and it is scary how few headlines we have this week, but we're going to rock it anyway.
It is. New York City Comic Con is this week, correct?
I think it's the Thursday through some days. I don't know when it ends.
So it is likely next week will be a big week. It's like this is like the when the big wave goes out before the the water goes out before the big wave comes in.
The calm before the storm.
Yeah.
How dare you, Scotty?
That's it. I liked my analogy better, but it's fine.
Yeah, ours was more accurate. We were talking about weather. Get it?
Welcome to Tide Talk.
Stop. See, I'm done.
Just call me Undertow.
Just call me Undertow. All right. Well, we got a 5-star review here from Cicada Care of 2042. Great username. Their 5-star reviews is I'm going to assume that's like a cicada noise they're trying to make with those
it's from when the cicadas were cicadaing in
That was
Jay's
from
life.
Cicada Cast.
Yeah, that was a good cast.
And they were just roaring outside my window so loudly that I couldn't focus on anything. Good times.
Can be distracting. You got to watch out. All right, well, let's dive into our first story today. We got moviegoers were in their Showgirl era this weekend as Taylor Swift's album release party for her 12th album, The Life of a Showgirl, took the top spot at the box office with an estimated $34 million. The one weekend show is over, though, and Tron Ares is coming through to open this weekend with estimates hoping it rakes in more than $40 million. Meanwhile, the Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt headlined movie, The Smashing Machine from A24, barely even slapped anyone across the face, opening to just $5.9 million. I think these are all domestic numbers. Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another continues to bring in dollars as well, $43 million domestically so far, though it had a 50% drop weekend over weekend. Last year at this time, we were talking about the complete box office bombing of Joker Folie à Deux. This year seems to have picked up, doesn't it?
Fingers crossed, and here's hoping. Now, I did make it to the movie to the theater this weekend, and not to see Taylor Swift, I'm sorry to say. And I was actually a little bit surprised, viewing what the lobby of my theater looked like, that there wasn't as strong a turnout for The Life of a Showgirl, at least in my area, given that it was only out this weekend. I thought it would be kind of similar to the Eras tour with like lines out the building and whatnot, but there wasn't quite the same fanfare. So that makes me a little bit sad that here on the show, a little self-serving that we're not going to get the same kind of mileage out of The Life of a Showgirl that we got out of the Eras tour. But she's going to be okay, and I think Swifties, by and large, are pretty pleased with another theatrical offering here. But the movies that I caught this weekend were The Smashing Machine and Good Boy. And The Smashing Machine I actually saw on a whim. I had like no plans, no desire to really see it. The Rock has never been a box office draw for me. I was going to say I tolerate him, but that doesn't sound quite right. But I put up with him. I'd never root against him despite some of the big-headedness and the ego. But I got to say, I was very, very pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed The Smashing Machine. I thought it was a great film, probably going to make it into my top 10 for the year. And I just thought it was a really strong showcasing for not only Dwayne Johnson in a dramatic role, but also Emily Blunt. I will not be surprised if either one of them are in the conversation come award season here. And I chalk this up to a win, even though this is the lowest grossing opening box office for The Rock spanning his entire career, which is, saying something. I still chalk it up to a win because he showcased his chops for me, and then also his response to this disappointing box office. It's really been an opportunity for him to show some humility, whether that's manufactured. I am a little dubious about it all, but I think it's been a good look for him overall, and has kind of changed my opinion. Like I've had my ranking of the wrestlers turned actors, and it still is Bautista, Cena, Dwayne Johnson for me, but this made strides for Dwayne Johnson, in my opinion, at least in terms of his ability as an actor. So we'll see. Now that Taylor Swift is out of the way, maybe there's a chance for a little bit of a climb back with the positive word of mouth, but I do think, he's just kind of alienated his audience a little bit. Like when you make a career on action movies and this over-the-top personality, it is difficult to make that transition. But I hope this isn't it for him, because like I said, I think he's got the chops, and if he's willing to continue to put himself on the line and be a little vulnerable, like I said, he very well could become a box office draw for me, which I never thought I would say. So yeah, in terms of the overall box office, I do hope that this is indicative of some health and maybe some opportunities for some weekends ahead, because looking at Tron, I do suspect it's going to be par for the course with that franchise, where they typically achieve cult classic status because they don't do very well in the theatrical window. So $40 million, I do not recall the budget off the top of my head, but I don't think that's going to be enough for it to be a win for Disney. I think Legacy did $44 million its opening weekend back in 2011. So I'm going to see it. I've been catching up on all the Tron movies over on Bingers, so I encourage you to check that out. And let's see how it does.
Yeah, the Taylor Swift opening, I mean, despite the fact that it was about a third of the opening of the Eras Tour, it's still a huge success because those are completely different things. The Eras Tour was coming off of the tour. It had just ended. People were wanting to go relive it. It was a whole cut together film, whereas this was kind of like almost like what would have been on VH1 10 years ago or something. It was behind the scenes stuff, interviews. It was a music video premiere for an album that was already out, and the music video dropped on YouTube on Monday, and that was known that it was going to drop on Monday. So looking at it through that lens, the fact that it drew $33 or $34 million is actually really impressive, and kind of goes to show that the Taylor Swift fandom is extremely strong. This was probably a showing for her hardcore fans, like the hardest of hardcore fans. And it just seems like maybe that $90 million box office, you just a third it whenever you're talking about only hardcore fans. But still, I don't think you're getting another artist in the world to basically release a music video in theaters for 2 days and gain that level of a box office opening. So it does show the strength of, we already know the Taylor Swift brand. It is what it is. It's very strong, but it just further, I think, is a showcase of that. For the Smashing Machine, Scotty, I'm glad to hear that you did like it. It does seem though that maybe the audience score is kind of in that 75% range, and then the critic score is in that 75% range. And so, as if you're Dwayne Johnson, you don't want to see that. You want to see it as being, because it is a different type of movie for him, like you said, and so you really want it to have that draw of being, it is so different, but it's so good, and it's something you need to see in theaters. And so I think if I'm him and I'm thinking about my award chances, we've mentioned this movie as potentially putting both Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson in an Oscar conversation down the line. I think you've got to be a little nervous if that's your end goal, because it just complicates the campaign. It's even if you've delivered a good performance, if the box office is really weak, it just makes the battle to try to get yourself into the contention a little bit more uphill. Now, it's not like Dwayne Johnson is hurting for money, so if he really wants to push that Oscar campaign, he can be the one that backs it. But it does just kind of makes me wonder, what this potentially does to his chances to be into that conversation. I still think he'll get into the conversation in some way. I just because I'm trying to think of the rest of the field, and it just seems like he should be in there probably. but it's still, I think it remains to be seen a little bit. And I think his chances would have been a lot better had this movie, performed a little bit more on par with maybe some of other A24 openings that we kind of consider to be a little bit higher. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of the screens were taken up this weekend, and I think that was the big thing is the Taylor Swift movie wasn't exactly stealing IMAX screens, but it took up a lot of those Dolby screens. If you pulled up your local theater and you looked at the showtimes, those theaters were trying to cram as many Taylor Swift showings in as they could because it was only going to be there for a couple days. So it was just basically from the time the movie theater opened till the time it closed, it was just a lot of those screens were getting used for that. And I think those elbows maybe pushed a couple of these other titles off to the side a little bit and maybe made it a little bit more difficult. If you were wanting to see The Smashing Machine, but then you pull up your app and it's like, well, I could see it at 10 a.m. or I could see it at 9:30 p.m., you're probably out, right? But does it have enough legs to pull you in weekend number 2? And that's the question. So really interesting weekend at the box office. But definitely one that very different groups of people coming out to the theater to see very different things.
Yeah.
Did The Smashing Machine win the Palme d'Or at that film festival?
I can't remember. I want to say
something's scratching my brain to say that it did.
It feels right.
Which Honora did that last year, and then it went on to just sweep and sweep and sweep. But this year's Oscars, my opinion on that is different than other people's, but that's okay. But I wonder, I don't remember Honora, it was kind of an under the radar box office film too, probably. I didn't watch it in theaters. We watched it, for our Oscars coverage on Bingers, but I could see The Smashing Machine taking that same trajectory. It doesn't hold the interest for me. A lot of these films right now don't hold the interest for me to go to the theater to see just because, I'm too busy right now. And it's no, I will catch them at home, but I'm one of those people that's not using my Regal membership to its full advantages. I'm not good like Scotty, but I also am I just don't have the energy at this moment to go see these, even though I know a lot of them, like we said last week, these are going to be award contenders. You just know they are. And more of those are coming, like the Bruce Springsteen biopic that's going to come out. I'm sure will be up for something, even though biopics don't typically do very well in award season. So anyway, it's just kind of that time of the year. And then I was thinking what's our big holiday? I think the big holiday movie is Wicked for Good. I don't know that we have a big December release this year, which is kind of interesting. And if there is one, I'm forgetting what it is.
Anaconda with Paul Rudd.
Oh my God, you're right. Also a big award season contender for sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird fall, but it does seem like things are picking up, and Taylor Swift brought people out to the theater, right, wrong, or indifferent. I saw a lot of videos that made me go, yeah, that's why I would never go to see something like that. People are dancing around in circles in the movie theater, but they were having fun, so good for them.
Yeah, we've also got Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Five Nights at Freddy's 2 coming out, which those both will probably do good numbers in December, which we'll talk more about that.
December?
That's what the internet told me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right.
December 5th.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay. So we're actually going to be talking a lot about that after the break today, doing what's coming for the rest of the year. So stick around for that. But yeah, as far as these box office numbers, I'm impressed with One Battle After Another. I really didn't hear much about this movie until it came out, and it's one of the only movies I've just heard more word of mouth about than anything else. I just haven't really seen that many ads for it. Haven't really seen it talked about. I saw, I think, a trailer for it when it came out because we talked about it here on the show. That's the only reason I've seen the trailer for this movie. But I've just heard multiple friends tell me how good it was, and so I'm going to go see it in theaters. I just got to find a day I can. So I'm excited for that, and I'm really excited for Tron Ares. Like Jay Scotty said, Bingers Assemble. Check that out. We've just covered the first 2 Tron movies, and I like Tron. I like Tron so far. I want to see what they do with the third one. I feel like it's a make or break for Tron because Legacy wasn't as beloved. So it's you gotta bring it. There's not going to be huge Tron fans around for long. I feel like if this Tron doesn't kind of speak to people.
Well, I did see shortly before we hopped on here, I think the first reviews for Tron Ares are starting to trickle out. So, and what I've seen, I'm wary of spoilers, but I think the reception is decidedly positive.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Good.
Will Jared Leto ruin it? That's the main question.
Always the question.
Tron in time.
All right. Up next, if you thought the film and TV universes were becoming passe, Peaky Blinders is here to prove you wrong. Star Cillian Murphy already had fans excited about returning to the Shelby family with the news of a feature film that is wrapped and will release next year. Now, the BBC and Netflix are sharing an expansion of the universe with a new 6-episode sequel series that will focus on a new generation of the Shelbys. Murphy and original writer Stephen Knight are executive producers for the series, which will take place post-World War II. Who's ready to help rebuild Birmingham? I'll talk on this one. I recently watched this entire series and really like it. And what excites me the most is this it sounds like there's going to be a bit of a time jump forward because the Peaky Blinders happens in that gap between World War I and World War II. And it's a lot about that. And there's like the rise of fascism kind of happening in the background of some seasons of the show. And so jumping forward to after World War II, and a lot of Peaky Blinders is about these guys coming home from war and kind of they have a particular set of skills, which works as a Liam Neeson impression and just an Irish impression for Peaky Blinders. But no, they're really, it's really focused on that. It's sort of the post-traumatic stress of it all and them having these skills, and they come home to a very poor environment, and then they have to figure out how to make it, and that turns them to crime because they're good at violence. And they already have connections in that world, and that's kind of what the show's about. But one of the things that interests me is it being about his sons, or at least the future generation of the family, is a lot of the show is about the main character sort of achieving wealth and getting past his old criming ways and trying to turn the family legit, as it were, as is always like a crime family story. And he sort of succeeds in that in different ways, but never fully gets out. And it's just interesting, his children who've been raised maybe a little less criminally, after they maybe have World War II experiences, are going to have to come back and have the same cyclic experience of, violent men coming home and needing to find a use for their skills. It's a really evocative show, really great. I highly recommend it. I definitely put it on, and it's not that long either. It feels long because it's like 4 or 5 seasons, but the seasons are short, so you can really book through it pretty quick. So check it out.
I think it's cool. Did they talk in the original series? I mean, I'm sure there's talk about Ireland and the wanting independence and all of that. Setting the next series in the 50s, that'll amplify that conversation too. Because,
yeah.
I mean, that was always will be probably, a conversation in Ireland. But I feel like, I don't know, I'm not going to act like I know any kind of that history, but in that time, things were probably starting to really ramp up. And especially when England was in such, bad shape after World War II and stuff. So that'll be another interesting angle too, I would imagine, not having seen any of it.
It absolutely sounds like the kind of thing they'll cover. They have very different political factions that are always sort of vying for help from the Peaky Blinders and from Cillian Murphy's character, but he always has to. It's such an interesting show because he clearly does things that are good for people that have good goals, but you can never tell if it's all just selfish, and it's just this constant when is he choosing? Is he ever going to choose to just be a good man? Is he always just has work in an angle? And it's a great performance. So highly recommend it.
I like seeing it from Cillian Murphy too. I mean, we've seen people in Hollywood before when they ascend to that height of winning the best actor or best actress kind of falter a little bit after that in terms of not really nailing the next project or trying to figure out what the next project is. And what I like about Cillian Murphy is that he went out, he conquered the mountaintop, he won for Oppenheimer, and then what did he do? He went back to Peaky Blinders, and he went back to the 28 Days franchise. These two things that he built his career around and grew up through, and kind of worked his way up through Hollywood through, and then all of a sudden now we're seeing him come back to those, albeit as a producer in some capacities, not the main character by any sense of the imagination, and especially in 28 Days, but he will return to that and is a producer and involved in the creative process. So I just think that's cool, just because it does kind of go against what happens sometimes in Hollywood when sometimes people win these awards and they get on the scene and they can't figure out what that next move is. And the next move is sometimes not in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good point. And unlike the 28 Days franchise, in this, he definitely, I feel like the movie he will have to be the star of. And so I love to see him returning to that movie. I wonder if he'll return for the series. It seems like the movie might be the end for him just because they've already done 7 seasons, and who knows, maybe he'll still be around as an old man or something in the World War II era.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add, so I would just guess on that note, or ask, are there any guesses as to what it might be titled? Peaky Blinder, the later years?
Peaky Blinders.
The next generation?
Uprising.
The next generation, yeah. Uprising's not bad.
Legacy.
Ugh. Why are you rage baiting right now, Scott?
I got nothing of substance to add, so I got to do something here.
No, I like it.
Poke the bear.
I'd go Peaky Blinders Silver Spoon, because it's like, okay. I think these kids are going to have this violent family, but they're going to have to they have all these like connections to this underground world, but are they going to have to earn their own respect because they were raised in like relative wealth compared to their family and friends and people they have to interact with all the time? So that would be, I can definitely see a chip on their shoulders for that reason.
What about a play on Irish, like Dublin the Stakes or something like that?
There you go. I like where your head's at.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I don't.
That's a sign it's time to move on.
Well, we're going to actually jump right into our lightning round. I know we normally save it for after the break, but we got other plans after the break. So we're going to jump right into this. So you guys know how the lightning round works. I'm going to read a story. We're going to go around and shout out our names if we'd like to claim that story, and that person will respond to the story. And once per lightning round, we get to do a rebuttal. So here we go. New Line's follow-up to Final Destination Bloodlines has found its director, Belgian filmmaker Michel Blanchard, who will be making his first English language feature.
Scotty, unfortunately, I'm not familiar with the filmmaker's body of work, so I can't really speak to his ability or what he might be lending to the franchise, but I do look at New Line, and they wasted no time, working on a follow-up to Bloodlines because it was such a success for them this summer. And even though they couldn't get the director who worked on Bloodlines, it's obvious that this franchise is a priority for them. So whether, talent be damned, we're going to find somebody and keep this franchise going. So I have confidence that they found somebody that'll deliver the goods, because the franchise is on a high right now. I don't think they want to lose that.
Yeah.
The article on Deadline said that it was, I think the words that they used were a brief and intense search or something like that. So
okay.
They knew who they wanted, but they went through a lot of people really fast, and they locked him down fast.
All right, DC and Marvel Comics will continue their crossover series with a Superman and Spider-Man crossover that will debut early next year.
Haley, I don't have any interest in reading crossover comics, but they're doing a bunch of them right now. I don't know why. It's kind of funny. I'm sure people are very excited. Superman, Spider-Man seems like ones that will fly off the shelf.
Yeah, or swing off the shelves, one of the two.
There you go. You found it.
Severance breakout Zach Cherry, True Detective co-star Callie Reyes, and Jono Wilson from I Love That For You have joined the cast of Resident Evil, Sony Pictures and Zach Cregger's reboot of the horror franchise, according to The Hollywood Reporter.
Scotty, I only knew about Zach Cherry joining the cast right up until you read this, so I was kind of leaning into that, but I will say, looking at Zach Cherry and the previous cast announcement that we got with Paul Walter Hauser, I think it is safe to assume that Zach Cregger is going to lean into a decidedly comedic tone, which isn't super surprising if you've seen Weapons or Barbarian. They certainly have their comedic elements here. But with the addition of someone from True Detective, who I'm not overly familiar with and I've never even heard of, I love that for you, though. But just based on the title there, I would imagine that's probably got some comedy leanings as well. So probably going to be pretty in keeping with his previous directorial efforts there, which is kind of different from the games. I mean, the games have their own unique brand of humor, but I would describe it as more quirky and kind of like inside baseball as opposed to as overt as some of the things that Zach Kreger does. But again, I think he can only improve on the previous film franchise. The games are the games, but this franchise has a legacy as far as the movies go. So we gotta improve that.
You shut your mouth.
I know it has its fans. I'm not one of them. I'm sorry.
It does. It is one of the worst universes. I'll rebut this one. Just to talk about the original Resident Evil. I love the first movie. Just like I was the right age when it came out. I was like 12 and just zombie fighting in that red dress and like zombie dogs, and it was just a really fun movie, and I loved that whole first movie a lot. And so I stuck with it, and I watched like the first 7 of these, like in theaters. I would go back, and they were just worse and worse. They got terrible, and like I recently watched a retrospective on them, and how every movie ends with a promise of what the next movie is going to be, like some sort of like post credits kind of thing, and it never pays off. Like it's always like, oh, look at this thing they're gonna do, and it's like, for some reason there's a million Alices in one of them, like Alice, the Mila Jovanovic. Yeah, is that how I say it? There's like hundreds of her, and then the next movie they immediately all die and it's back to one. Like it's like and it's the same like writing team, I think. So they just kept making decisions to be like, oh, we're gonna do this next time, and then just changing their mind and doing something totally different. And it was like just a bonkers way to run a franchise, but they're fun. They get stupider.
Sounds like we got a Bingers Assemble coming down the line here.
Maybe we should. That would be such a frustrating Bingers. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you just like progressively get more angry every episode. Like, get another thing.
Because each time I'd go to the theater, I did not do a rewatch. So it'd be like kind of fresh eyes, and like I don't remember what I was promised last time. It's just like it's another zombie fest where they're gonna fight a bunch. But if I watch them in close succession, I think I'd be really angry.
Yeah, I want to see the whiteboard behind you with like all the promises written down that were not kept and everything.
That's really funny. It's kind of like the MCU right now.
Yeah.
Where's White Vision?
At least those are just dangling threads. These were just like threads that they would just cut immediately. As soon as the next one starts, so just like, we're not doing it.
Yeah, it'd be like in the first episode of Vision Quest, they just kill him. Wrapped up that thread, baby. Nice and tight.
It would be a really funny thing to do in like a Deadpool 4, where like they just go through a bunch of the threads and like Deadpool like diverts them so they never happened, or like screws up all the MCU threads that never happened on screen. That'd be pretty good. All right. Netflix has released the first official trailer for season 4 of The Witcher, which sees Liam Hemsworth taking over the role of Geralt from former star Henry Cavill. Netflix has previously announced the show will end with 5 seasons.
Jay, I mean, none of us really watched The Witcher, but I did think it was at least important to mention that there is a trailer out there. I just will always think that the situation with The Witcher is one of the most interesting things ever. It's like this huge show on Netflix. It's based on this huge video game franchise, and then you're going to take the biggest star face of the franchise guy and essentially have some sort of behind-the-scenes drama that we don't really even know fully what happened, but it doesn't really seem to be from Cavill's end. Like, it seemed like he wanted to keep doing this, and then you're going to swap him out for somebody else for the last 2 seasons. I don't know how well that works. I would like to hear from some actual, Witcher fans. Like, if you're in the comments on Spotify or something, like, does this make you not want to watch it, or are you just kind of cool with it, or whatever? But to recast that role just makes this a really interesting thing to me, just from an outside observer standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. In a deal worth a substantial 7 figures, Walt Disney Studios won an auction to acquire the rights to Impossible Creatures, the fantasy series by acclaimed British author Catherine Rundell. She will adapt the first 2 books in the series into screenplays.
Haley, none of us had read these young adult novels, but I read the synopsis on Goodreads a little while ago, and it seems like they're kind of Percy Jackson-esque. Creature, boy finding a mythical creature, going on a quest, sort of Aragon, which is of course very derivative of Lord of the Rings. So it's just in that realm, and sounds like something the young people will probably enjoy.
Sweet.
The Utes.
Michael Mann's Heat 2, the long-awaited sequel to his 1995 crime drama starring Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, is finally gaining traction. Amazon MGM and producers Scott Stuber and Jerry Bruckheimer are in final negotiations to secure the rights. Although no deals are official, The Hollywood Reporter has connected Leonardo DiCaprio to the project, and other names have also surfaced, including Austin Butler, Adam Driver, and Bradley Cooper.
Jay, this was originally at Warner Brothers, and then they could not agree on a number amount to put a budget behind it. And so they were like, hey, go out and shop it a little bit, and you see what else is out there. You'll never find somebody better than us. And they went to Amazon MGM, and Amazon MGM was like, come on over, we'll make it. And so now it's off the ground, and it's actually gonna happen. So,
Yeah.
but that's some serious star power you're talking about, Leonardo DiCaprio, and pairing him up with any of those 3 guys. I mean, you're talking about some top of the line A-list talent.
Yeah, that I'm really impressed with that list for sure. Well, that's our lightning round. We're not done though. I know this feels like the end of the show because it's how we normally end the show, but we're gonna come back with a looking forward at the next 3 months of 2025. What's coming out? What are we excited for? Films, television? I don't know. What are you guys excited for? Tell us in the chat. I don't know. It's gonna be a little bit of a looser conversation, so we'll get on to that right after this. Welcome back to Multiverse News.
Cut that thread.
Cut the thread immediately. Not my vocal cords.
We need a bit. We need to start coming up with a teased thread for next week that we never follow up on. Like a post-credit scene.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's some sort of background story that's happening, but it's only happening in the post-credit scene.
Right.
And changes every
You
week.
get it.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. Well, we have a Patreon. We want to tell you guys about patreon.com/multiverse newscast. You can go there. It's $4 a month. It supports the show. We bring the show to you. It's less than $1 per episode, and we bring the show to you with a lot of love and a lot of work, and we put our hearts into it every week. We hope you'll like it, and if you do, throw $1 at us every episode. Just $4 a month. It's great. It really helps us out, and times are hard. I know. So if you can't do it, we understand. But if you can, if you're one of those people and you just haven't, come on. What are you doing? You'll get ad-free access to all the episodes. You get the live episode, live recording that it goes away on YouTube. It is available on the Patreon. You get a sticker, and you get a discount on our merch and all kinds of stuff. And we do polls and special episodes sometimes. So go check that out. And again, that's patreon.com/multiverse newscast. And our patron of the week this week is Shiloh Combs. Thank you, Shiloh.
Shiloh.
Shiloh. And let's go to our Spotify poll. We asked about last week's trailers, which trailer is most exciting to you guys, and 6% of you said Star Wars Visions, 10% of you said Avatar Fire and Ash, 24% of you said Wicked 4 Good, and 60% of you said Wolverine the Game. Which
I feel like it won by default.
I don't know. I think that is interesting because the balance is obviously we have a lot of Marvel fans in our audience. That is very clear. It's a big thing. But I didn't know the Marvel fans and the intersection between Marvel fans and gamers. I didn't know how how big that was. But 60% saying they're most excited for a video game over all those movies. I think that's the interesting part to me.
Guess we need to up our video game talk on this podcast.
I guess we do. 60%. At least Wolverine video game talk. All right. Well, what we're going to do now, we're going to do just kind of a loose conversation about what's coming in 2025, what's already playing on TV, what's coming over the next few weeks. We only got 3 months left of the year, so let's just, I guess anybody, we've got a list of all the things coming out. I can kind of run down it, or we can just sort of throw out what we're excited about. What are you guys excited about in October when it comes to films?
Well, it's already been talked about quite a bit, but Tron Ares comes out this weekend, so that's definitely one that I'm looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
We've also talked quite a bit about Del Toro's Frankenstein, which comes out in October, scoring that theatrical release, killing it on the trailers. Trailers have tons of views. It just seems to be a lot of interest in the movie, even though it's going to be on Netflix. I think you're going to see a stronger than expected box office because people are going to want to see it on the big screen.
I think so too. That's just such a match made in heaven. Del Toro and Frankenstein just feels like it's going to be a really good fit.
Yeah, and I'll be curious to see the reception to that one because I think that could potentially be a source of some award contenders for us as well. Guillermo del Toro has had a pretty good track record when it comes to the Academy. So yeah, Jacob Elordi, Oscar Isaac, definitely some contenders in there. Yeah,
so that's Tron Ares coming out this weekend. The very next weekend is Frankenstein, and then the next weekend is what I'm excited about: Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. Mostly Jeremy Allen White. I've been watching this most recent season of The Bear, and every time he's on screen, I'm like, they just chose such a good Springsteen. Like, it's just gonna be so good. Like the idea of like the working man's artist is like kind of what The Bear is about too. Like, he's a working man, but he's like elevated and trying to make art and trying to do his best thing while staying true to his roots. Like, it just seems like such a perfect fit, and he looks so much like him. I just think that is going to be a really like epic biopic for Springsteen.
I'm looking forward to that one, but I kind of hate the title of it just because it feels like a documentary, not a feature film.
Yeah, that's fair.
I see that.
I don't hate it. Hate is a strong word to use. It's too long. I mean, it could just be Springsteen. Like, you don't need to say anymore.
Yeah.
We're in.
And I'm not a big Springsteen fan. Like, I'm not a Springsteen hater, but I just never been one that my family wasn't into it. I didn't grow up on it, and I've just kind of heard the songs I've heard. But it really is Jeremy Allen White. It's bringing me in the door. Like, I will go see that in theaters because of him. And I just like a good music biopic. They always get me right here.
Yeah, they have legs too. Like the Chalamet Dylan movie did really solid and got awards chatter and was a very popular streaming movie after it finally hit streaming. So, I think this one could have a similar audience that would go out and see this.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if we got no more October movies, we have a few others ones. I'll just mention them. Roofman's coming out this week. That's that. Oh gosh, what's his name?
Channing
Tatum movie where he lives in the roof. Yeah. And Black Phone 2 is coming out. Begonia is coming out this month. So got a few movies there that are also coming out. And then moving to November, what excites you guys?
Not much.
No. The Running Man, Jay and Ash and I are going to cover those movies. Yeah. So I am looking forward to seeing Glenn's take on that.
Yeah, when I saw the trailer for it, I was kind of like, is this going to be good or is it not? It's kind of one of those ones, like, it's like you can't tell from the trailer, but I just think Glenn Powell's one of those guys that he's kind of become like movie proof for me. I just like, it's just when he's in something, he's just good in it. And so it's enough to sell me. So I'm excited about that, and I really like the premise. If I make it out to a movie in November, that's going to be the one, I would say.
Yeah. I just still love that first trailer that they put out so much. It's continued to be one of my favorite trailers that I've got to see on the big screen when you go to the movies as often as I do. But I'm a little worried, about the marketing. It's good to, hold back and not give the whole thing away. And it is a remake. So, there's probably a lot of people that already know the story. But I hope it does as well as it deserves to. Edgar Wright is, always root for him. But yeah, Glenn Powell, I've liked him ever since I saw him at Everybody Wants Some, all the way back in 2016, and always root for him. So let's see if he can solidify himself as not just a running man, but a leading man with box office draw.
Yeah, you're right too about the marketing, because when I saw the date, I was surprised it was that soon. I knew it was coming up, but I was like, man, that is soon. Like, that's just right around the corner. So I don't know. I guess I just hadn't seen a lot of marketing, and it just didn't really click that it was that soon that it was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's just not that serious.
That dog is freaking out.
We got a hound dog.
What is that, my house?
She doesn't like the Running Man or Glenn Powell.
She's like, Glenn Powell was the worst part of Top Gun.
Yeah,
All right.
Anyway.
Well, let's see. We got moving into November. Yeah, we talked about Running Man. I think Predator Badlands is one I'm excited for. We just finished covering over Alien Earth, and just the connections between Alien and Predator have really got me kind of excited. And there's a lot of Alien connections in the trailer for Predator Badlands, so that's one that's got me pumped up. I feel like there's tons in November. Like, November is going to be a big month for me to try to make it to the theater, and probably not make it as much as I want to.
What is the Carpenter's Son?
Is that a Jesus thing?
It's got to be a religious movie.
It's Jesus.
Did you put that in there to troll?
No, it's a Jesus movie, but he's being played by Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Yes.
Heard of this.
Something
Wow.
about that.
Yeah, I think I want to say
He was like, if you won't let me be Superman.
I meant to rewatch the trailer because I think it's really nuts. I think it's like really wild. But yeah, that's gonna be weird. Like, but I mean, you got Predator Badlands, The Running Man. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I mean, we're always talking about universes over here. That's a weird one. Are they magicians?
I couldn't make it through the first one of
every
those
time
movies.
I see the trailer
Really?
in theaters, it just makes me. It's like kind of cringy to me. I don't know. Like, I just think it's a cringe fest.
I think they're all cringe fest, but I like them. I really liked the first one. The second one got a little bit too much like, are these magicians or are they do they have superpowers? Like,
I can't do it with Jesse Eisenberg anymore either, man. Like, he's just the same dude every time I see him. Like,
That's
and it's
true.
I don't know. I just can't do it with that guy anymore.
That's true, but Dave Franco is charming. I like Dave Franco a lot.
Oh my gosh, him in the studio is still maybe the hardest I've
Yep.
ever laughed at this year. Like, his episode in the studio.
Yep, he was the best, the absolute best. Yeah, so I'm excited for Now You See Me, Now You Don't, even though I don't know that I'll make it in theaters. Wicked for Good, of course. I feel like we'll all go see that at some point, or watch it at some point. And the one that I am most excited for, which I'm mentioning almost last, is Wake Up Dead Man, the Knives Out mystery, which will be coming to Netflix shortly thereafter. But I want to see it in theaters because I really love those movies. The Knives Out.
I really don't
mysteries.
want to sign up for Netflix again.
Yeah, and you already pay for the A-list, so
Sign up for Patreon so Scotty can get back on Netflix.
yeah. If every one of our listeners signs up for Patreon, we could all afford Netflix. It would be great.
Yeah. Also, at the end of the month, we have Zootopia 2, which we haven't talked a lot about here, and that one I'm curious about because I think there has been a trend with like Gen Z animated sequels just doing like gangbusters at the box office, like Inside Out 2, a couple summers ago. We just it's not an animated sequel, but it's a remake of kind of like that generation that I'm talking about. But Lilo and Stitch, the remake, just did $1 billion at the box office this summer as well. So looking at Zootopia and Wicked for Good, I worry a little bit about some of these movies at the beginning of the month that I'm excited for, like Predator Badlands and The Running Man, because as the average, family and average moviegoer are going to say, hey, I'm saving my money for later on in the month where we have, this mass appeal stuff that everybody's going to see.
I would really like to see like someone graph out like different movies that have legacy sequels like that are how spaced they are apart and how that affects their success. Because I do think there's like a sweet spot where you watch it at a certain age and then you're a certain age and your kids are a certain age and it's like just right for you to want to go see it again and like or see the next one or whatever. And I wonder what that is. I wonder if you plotted it on a graph, like how many years apart versus how much it made, and then what movies they were, if there would be a cluster of like, well, if you make a legacy sequel 13 years later, that's exactly the spot.
I get what you're saying.
Hey,
Yeah.
Disney needs Zootopia to do well because they've not had a great year outside of the aforementioned Lilo and Stitch. They kind of need this movie to do well to end the year on a positive note.
Indeed.
Predator Badlands will be interesting because they're releasing that in theaters as a reaction to what happened with Prey. So if it does really well, they'll be vindicated. But if it doesn't, they'll probably be like, well.
Should have put it on Hulu.
Should have put it on streaming. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that is a really fair point because the franchise has kind of like made a home for itself on streaming and Hulu specifically with not just Prey, but then the animated film Killer of Killers, and then Alien Earth was, FX on Hulu. So it does kind of feel like Hulu is the home for Alien and Predator right now. I wonder if that will have an impact. Yeah, good point.
I think Prey fell victim though to COVID a little bit. It was 2022, but like I still feel like it was a little bit of that like.
But they were
people
never
still
going to
the
release it in
theaters?
theaters, right?
I don't know.
I think it was always a straight to streaming movie.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I still like
I don't
that's
know. That was
interesting.
like a while ago.
It was just so successful. I do think it's one of those that like that one people loved that one so much that it will get more butts in the theater. And like obviously when you put things in theaters, you got to spend a lot on marketing to make your money back. But like I don't know. It feels like I think they're going to do fine. I really do. I guess that's what I'm saying.
I didn't say I thought they would do poorly. I just was making comments. That's
Yeah,
what we're here to do. I do believe.
I didn't say you did. I'm just saying I think he'll do well.
I'm
You should be.
All right, moving into December, we only got 3 movies on our list here that seem to be germane to our audience. We got Five Nights at Freddy's 2 hitting theaters December 5th. What do you guys think about that? FNAF, that I confused you guys with 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think they want to compete with Robert Eggers as the horror franchise at Christmas.
Yeah, looks like it.
Listen, the youth love Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, it's gonna do well. It's gonna do well. People like the kids are gonna go see it. This is gonna be your teenagers going to the theater movie during that time. And like how Minecraft had all the videos of the kids like being like chicken jockey and all that stuff, and it's like all of it like that's gonna be that, but in December. So if you're looking at it, and I don't watch that. I mean, that's way after my time. I think it's way after all of our time. In terms of like the game and when it was popular and stuff like that. But it's just it hit with a certain demographic, and that demographic will come to the theater to see it.
I think this release date is perfect too, because I think a lot of diehard fans will go on opening night, and then I think they will take their friends on those weeks when everybody's out of school. Like the diehards will go first night, and then you're gonna get like weird. I know, like my niece took a group of friends to see the first Five Nights at Freddy's. So, and it's so funny. Like she's never played the games, but she's just seen enough online, like YouTube shorts and stuff that like. Or like TikToks that made her like, oh, I know Five Nights at Freddy's. And it's like, no, you don't. You've never played this game, but you have a connection to this brand. It's so strange. And then Avatar Fire and Ash comes out December 19th.
I think we've talked about that to death on this podcast already.
Yeah. It's real funny to me because I feel like we just talked about Five Nights at Freddy's having such a built-in audience. I still don't know who the audience for Avatar is, but it's kind of everyone and kind of no one. But it does well.
It's like
every
a
time.
simulation glitch.
It does
like
feel like
somebody's
that.
like, oh yeah, this one makes $1 billion every time, but you've never met somebody who watches it.
Or who loves it. Everybody's seen it, but who loves it? I've never met someone who's like, Avatar is my thing.
Get in the comments and tell us if you're that guy.
I gotta wear my Avatar shirt one of these days. I got the Avatar hoodie, the action figures, all that stuff. No, but clearly we're not super excited for this one. But I will see it in theaters because, like I said, whatever it's lacking in the story and the characters and the permanence, it's always just a thrilling time to be visually dazzled with what's on the screen there. But it is worth mentioning. This is a complete and total rumor, but the scuttlebutt is that we may get a trailer for Doomsday attached to Fire and Ash, because we just saw, with the Fantastic Four, they attached the very first trailer for Fire and Ash to that. We could see them, that would be almost exactly a year before the movie is supposed to come out. So I think that even though it's just a rumor, it's one that it passes the smell test for me. We'll see.
when I was looking for MCU cast news this week, one of the rumors I saw was that they would be dropping some sort of Doomsday teaser or trailer in December. So that would make sense. It's all lining up. And last thing we got on our list here for movies is Anaconda dropping in December 25th on Christmas Day. Get digested, everybody. While you're digesting, go get digested at the movie theater.
It's a perfect Christmas Day movie.
I was gonna say, when I heard about it and saw the trailer, it's immediately something that I'm like, that's a streaming movie for me. But then when I think about it being Christmas Day, like I might actually go see it on Christmas Day because I want to go to a movie on Christmas Day. That's the perfect one. It's low stress. It's probably funny.
Yeah.
It's a good
It
call,
feels
too.
like it's trying to do the Jumanji thing, especially with Jack Black being part of the proceedings. But I wonder, is the inclusion of like the anaconda and the snake and some of the more thrilling elements, will that keep people from bringing their kids to the theater? Because I know when I saw Jumanji with my family, it was like a whole family affair for pretty much everybody that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that might, but it also might, if they push the horror a little bit, it might bring in the horror fans. Like it's a good horror comedy, then maybe it's just a different audience. But yeah, I could definitely see it scaring away the kiddos. Of course, I watched that movie when I was the original Anaconda when I was a little kid. I don't know, I was like 12 or
7.
something. Yeah, somewhere around then. I'm older than you. I don't want to say how many years, but this beard is starting to show it.
You said that like it was a flex at first. I'm older than you.
Know your place.
It is a flex. Older than all of you combined.
Oh my god.
Wait a
You just
minute.
didn't-
Get the notepad
Immortal.
out. We got to do math.
We gotta do math.
No,
Also,
don't make me do math.
yeah,
Methuselah Carol.
that's right.
Welcome to math. Welcome to Mathcast.
Methuselah Carol. The Carpenter's Son.
I need to go watch the trailer for that Carpenter's Son. All right, well, we were going to talk about TV, and we got a few minutes left, so let's we don't have that many. There's a few running right now. Is anybody watching?
Chad power through it, shall we?
Yes, let's Chad Powers through it and start there. Chad Powers, anybody watching it yet?
I'm going to.
I haven't yet, but
gotten
it's
to
on
it
the
yet.
list. Yeah.
But I've heard good things.
So there's a few here that are running right now. Morning Show is running right now, season 4. I don't think any of us are keeping up with that. I am watching Gen V. I'm not caught up, but I'm on like the second or third episode. Anybody else keeping up with Gen V?
Unfortunately, no.
I really liked The Boys. I still really like it, but I needed to take a break from it because I'm not even that big of like gore and stuff doesn't really bother me that much. But that's the one show where it's just like I found myself just kind of being like, oh my God, like every scene so much.
Yeah.
And it was so dark. Like it got so dark. Every episode was so dark. And I was just like, I can't keep watching this every night. Like it's just, I don't know. It got to the point where I was like, I just need a break from it. I still like the show, but I think I just needed a pause on The Boys for a little bit just to kind of like factory reset my brain a little bit. But I totally understand why it's good. Like I'm moved by a lot of the storylines. Like I think it's a great show, but it's just the over the top nature of it just kind of not turned me off, but it was just kind of it became a detractor at some point.
Yeah. Oof. Has anybody watched this Monster the Ed Gein story?
I did.
Did you watch it?
Ashley and I are going to talk about it on Unqualified Opinions.
I'm in the middle of it right now, and
There's a lot of really interesting things about it to talk about.
For sure.
Is he the lampshade guy? Made him in the lampshades?
He is. He's
Among other
apparently,
things.
I didn't realize, but he's apparently the inspiration for Psycho, which I kind of knew that.
Interesting.
He's the inspiration for Psycho
Texas Chainsaw.
and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Quite the template.
And what?
Quite the template.
Right? And Buffalo Bill.
I knew you were going
from
there. Yeah. Once the previous two, I was like, I can see where this is going. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to say other movies too. So they do this weird thing where they jump around in time and they show actual murders that happened, or like, you know, I'm sure they're fictionalized and interpreted, but then they jump forward to showing like Hitchcock learning about those murders and sort of like working on that movie, and then they jump into different movies, and so it's this weird mix of like, yeah. Anyway, I'm watching it right now. It's
like
strange.
Serial killer influentialism. It's very interesting. It's
then
interesting.
Hitchcock himself is having this sort of like weird like I'm influencing the culture in this dark way, and I kind of regret it. But also, I made Psycho, this amazing movie. But it's like it's very like this killer. It's art influencing life, influencing art sort of thing, and it's just sort of like
It's very
creepy.
layered.
Yeah, it's very layered, and really the reason I bring it up, it wasn't even on our list, but it is on right now. It did just come out. It is dark. It is so dark, and like you were talking about The Boys, like I'm just watching it with my fiance when she's watching it, and it is breaking my heart, the amount of violence and grossness.
Well, I don't want to like say everything I would be saying for this weekend, but like the biggest theme throughout it is, so like Gen V and The Boys is horrible to watch, but it's fake. These are things that were horrible that were real.
Yeah.
And how it turned the American people into like desensitizing them and stuff like that. It's very interesting.
It really is.
I watched it sped up.
It's a good hack.
That's the conversation I had with my fiance. It was like you don't like horror, and this is like not just like so horrific. It's also real, and it's also like juxtaposed with horror scenes being restaged from other movies. So like this feels like it would not be something she would enjoy, but she's eating it up. And something about like
the girlies love a true crime, though.
Exactly. She loves true crime. She loves true crime. Hates horror fiction. But like some reason this movie, even though it is so clearly horror and combining horror with true crime, it is she loves it, and I'm like, well, how are you watching this? I am so grossed out.
I didn't love it, but I found it very interesting.
Yeah, same. I think I would say the same. Although Charlie Hunnam is the main character playing Ed Gein, amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
He did a great job.
Totally playing against type and really killing it. So.
I'll give you a palate cleanser before we go on. Did you see the online controversy around Chad Powers and the casting in Chad Powers? Have you seen this?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so all right, let me paint a picture for you. I think it's a TikTok or something where there's a girl who is with her friends and they're watching it, and she's trying to explain to them, because she's an actress, she's trying to explain to them that she is in a scene in this show, that she had gotten a scene. And so she's going through and they're pausing and stop framing. Well, come to find out, they took her out digitally of the scene that she was in, and they replaced her with the Hawk Tuah girl instead. Okay.
Yeah.
So this girl is like infuriated. She's like, I'm a literal actress and I got a role, and you put this girl in instead of me. Like you took just for the gag or whatever. And it's been a whole like, why would you do this controversy kind of thing on the internet.
Wow.
In the corners of the internet of, man, do we really have to like put the person with the most followers in these shows to try to get people to watch them, or can we just put actors and actresses in them instead?
Choose people that are actually good at their craft. Yeah, that's dark. Hey.
It's a good controversy read. If you want to do some hate reading tonight, there you go. I've served it up for you.
Yeah, this was not a palate cleanser, Jay. This was not a palate cleanser. You promised to cleanse me. But the thing is, like, it's always annoying when they do that. This sort of stunt casting that isn't right for the role, And I'm not saying, I don't know, a Hawk Tuah girl is not an actress, so I assume it's not great. But who knows? Maybe she's a real talent. But it's way worse to like take an actual actress out and put in her as that stunt casting. That's really dark. Oof. Okay. Well. Upcoming in TV, we got a few big TV series starting this year. I guess we can go down chronologically. Welcome to Derry, coming out October 26th. Who's excited?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a moment of panic earlier this week because I guess the like reviews for the first couple of episodes started to come out, and I was like, "What? It already started airing?" I was like, "I've got Peacemaker and everything else that I'm like prioritizing right now. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, HBO Max." But I was relieved to find out that it's not till later this month. So. Still got some time to prep for it, maybe rewatch that 2017 film. And I was actually talking about the franchise earlier today with one of my coworkers, and I have not rewatched it Chapter 2 since it was in theaters. So maybe I'll give it another chance. I liked it, but not as much as the first one. Definitely, I remember bloated was the word I came away with, just like trying to do too much with that sequel.
Got to get bloated because we all float down here.
Nailed it.
Right. All right, Stranger Things season 5 starts November 26th. I think it ends on December 31st, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yes.
it starts November 26th. I'm pumped for that.
I am too. I've watched Stranger Things since the beginning. It's why I got a Netflix account back in the day. I still think it's a great show. There's been a couple seasons that are like one of the seasons is a little more forgettable, but it's still good. And I think this last season that they had was the strongest one to date. But besides the first, I think the first season was probably the strongest, but the most recent one I think was right up there. And this is going to be huge. This is going to be a major cultural conversation. It's a huge show. People have grown up with it. They've watched it for years and years. I think they're coming in blocks of like 3 or 4 episodes at a time or something like that. So yeah, Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then New Year's, like the major holidays, is when these are dropping on Netflix. And yeah, it's going to be a major talking point in our culture during that time.
For sure. I really, you think they'll land the plane?
I think so.
I think so. Right.
Yeah. I think I fully trust in what the Duffer Brothers got going with that. I think they've had a plan all along of where they're taking it. And yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it to end it.
But are they going to bring back the other experimented on kids?
I hope not. Nope, that's a thread that we can just cut and forget it ever happened.
All right, Percy Jackson season 2 is dropping December 10th.
I'll watch
What do
it.
you think?
I liked the first season. It was fun. I'll watch it if for no other reason to see how much these kids have changed from one season to the next.
Yeah, it
because
feels
will
like
be
it's been
significant.
a while. How long has it been since season 1? Like 2 or 3
It was
years?
last year, but I mean,
Really?
they would have filmed it like before then. So
Wow.
yeah, they've grown up a lot.
I thought it was longer than that away. Crazy.
I thought it was like around December 2023 that it came out, but maybe I'm off base.
I don't know.
I thought
That
it
feels
was
more
last
right
year,
to me.
But
I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no
Now I
idea.
have to
I know our
find out.
audience,
Come
they
on,
like
you
it.
guys.
So.
Yeah, I know it's one of Jeff's favorites. He loves the series, and I think he's been liking the.
Oh,
Oh,
we're
he loves
both
the
right.
book
All right,
series.
we're all right. December
Oh.
2023 to January 2024.
Okay.
Okay.
We're all right.
Everybody's correct, sort of.
Haley, we were correct.
Yeah.
Come on, that's
We-
2 years. That's 2 years ago. You're like, it peaked into 24. I'm still right.
I wasn't wrong.
Yeah. So, Emily in Paris season 5. I've never seen
hell
this
yeah.
show.
Oh my god!
Listen,
it's so,
Netflix is
so
going to go
B.
nuts for
It's
Emily in Paris.
nonsense.
Okay.
I watch it. I'm so lucky. I get a winter break at work, and so I have lots of TV time and for like 2 weeks, and that's always when I watch stupid Emily in Paris.
My wife watches Emily in Paris, and it is schlocky as hell, but
It's
that is
so
why people
schlock.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean,
We
She'll
all
never get
have a
that.
schlock that we like to watch.
Oh yeah.
I make the same joke every time I walk in the room. I'm like, have they revoked her visa yet? Kills every time. Yeah, it's funny every time.
It makes no sense. There's no reason she should still be in Europe. She's not an essential worker. She does social media.
Wonder Man is dropping in December. We don't know when yet. I don't think we have a. Do we have a date?
Is it?
We do
no,
not have
it's
a
a big
date.
mystery.
Uh-oh.
Wonder Man
Yeah.
question mark?
I will forever say it's not happening till it actually happens.
Yeah, I don't think they filmed this show.
Uh-oh.
It's actually Loki season.
It's a big
4 or
Feige
whatever.
lie. He's like trying to. He's like, they'll forget about it eventually. He'll gaslight us and
Not
be like,
even-
Wonder Man.
We've not had a legitimate, like, even teaser trailer, have we? I think the
No.
most we've gotten is some, like,
No.
footage
They
and a
put
sizzle
some
reel.
footage and a sizzle. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
that's-
just
I'm
him
like, no,
standing
no, no.
there, just
That's
being
not
like,
real.
like it's like not even any action or anything.
I hope that it is just like really great, and they don't want to show us anything. Like that's what I'm hopeful of.
I
I'm
want
hopeful
to
it's-
see it.
I
I
just-
just don't
Me too.
believe them.
I think they're gonna give it the Ironheart treatment. I'm afraid.
I
know.
really
I'm
do.
afraid they're
I
gonna
just
do
Don't
that.
do
that's kind of what they do now. I mean, it's just
Don't
you
do
know,
it.
I don't want them to either, but
It feels like they did it on a lot of shows that were part of the old plan, and I'm hoping this is enough in between the old and new plan that.
This is super part of the old plan, though.
like Peacemaker is a great example of a show that has gained so much steam because it's week to week. If
Yeah.
you dropped Peacemaker all at once, it would have fizzled out kind of fast.
100%.
Because the people who are the hardcore people would have watched it, blown through it, and they would have spoiled it for everybody, and everybody just would have been like, I'll just catch it later or whatever, and then they would have forgot about it. But the fact that it is every week, and, you know, Gunn's doing the interviews in between, and John Cena's doing the interviews in between and all that, and it's getting like, that's a perfect example of how you can take something that maybe at the beginning there's not a ton of interest in, but you can build interest in it over time because it's good and people are excited for it week to week.
Absolutely. Last one I saved best for last. I think this is I personally think this is the one that's going to garner the most excitement here. December 17th, we got Fallout Season 2.
It's going to be so good. Yeah. Season 1 was so good. It was so fun.
So good. It's just a great series. Like emotional, funny, action packed. I didn't even play the games, and I still like just think it's so fun and stylistic, and all the choices they made to sort of go with the games that I kind of have in the back of my pop culture brain somewhere. It just was it was so good.
Yeah. The algorithm is really pushing me towards getting prepared for the second season as well, because I'll wake up in the middle of the night sometimes, and a lot of times I'll listen to there are YouTube channels specifically for helping you fall back asleep, like Boring History and stuff like that. But a channel called Sleepy Vault has kept coming up, and it's like, learn the history of every single vault while you fall asleep. So it's good stuff, and it's exciting.
Like types of vaults or.
No, each in Fallout they live in vaults. It's like that. It's like their
mind.
underground bunker.
They get out of the vaults. The whole point is they get out of the vaults.
Paul Rudd and Ant-Man vault analysis. Like, this brand is this, and this is how you break into it.
It's a big door.
The whole franchise of Fallout, I think, is 100 vaults. Is that right?
I think it's more than that.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Okay.
It might. Well, they have to have enough to span the entire country, right? Because we've got vaults in California, vaults in Massachusetts, DC so far.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe it is just 100, but I thought it was
for some reason I thought I remember.
Maybe we're getting our wires crossed with Silo.
I was just going to say
that might be it. It's very much like a more action adventure Silo. I feel like
sure.
It's really funny too. Like, it's a hilarious
really
show.
Funny. Yeah. Really funny. And the Ghoul is just amazing.
Yeah,
Walton
we're in the middle of our Walton Goggins moment.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, I forgot Zach Cherry was even in there. Dang.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah. So good. All right, guys. Well, that is our show. We wanted to run down this year's what we've got coming up for the rest of the year, and that's kind of the stuff we'll be talking about both on this podcast and all our other podcasts. I'm sure a lot of those shows will come up in an Always Watching or a Bingers Assemble somewhere in there. Or you guys are doing that one on your new show, Unqualified Opinions.
Yeah, it'll just be a round discussion.
Nice. That's
not
great.
Episodic.
Yeah. So just check out the new Unqualified Opinions, because that's just a new show. You gotta make sure you're subscribed. So let's go around the thing and tell everybody what else we got going on. Jason?
Yeah, you can find me at Commute the Podcast every week on Mondays, and you can find me on Always Watching covering The Paper, which we're going to be wrapping up because we're doing the last 2 episodes. So if you haven't watched The Paper and you've been waiting on our coverage, go ahead and watch it, because we're about to finish that thing up.
Nice. And Haley Hobbs.
Echo the Paper sentiments, and then Always Watching. Also, Ashley and I continue our Outlander rewatch, which is always just super fun. Check out Unqualified Opinions. It's available on podcast platforms, and then of course companion it with the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/strandedpandatv. And then Brian and I over on Source Pages, we get in this like area where we're always reading something and then we're always reviewing something, and right now we're always reviewing something. It's kind of fun. But coming up, we're reading Hour of the Pumpkin Queen, which is another continuation from The Nightmare Before Christmas. So lots going on all the things.
That's fun. And J. Scott St. Clair, what you got?
Yeah, there's also Peacemaker Season 2 coverage happening on the Always Watching feed, at least for one more week. Getting close to the finale there. And then Bingers Assemble for the Tron coverage we've been talking about. So the 1982 film, as well as Tron Legacy. And this weekend I'll be catching Tron Ares, so look forward to it.
Yeah, and I'm over there on all that stuff that Jay Scotty just mentioned, plus the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, which actually Jay Scotty appeared on last week too, and me and Ashley just dropped an episode yesterday. So stuff going on all over the Stranded Panda universe. Check them all out. We'll be back right here on Multiverse News next week. Peace.
You stay classy, Multiverse.
Hey, thanks for listening to Multiverse News, or watching it, or whatever you're doing. Eyeballs or ear holes, whichever thing. We do this show every week, and we appreciate you listening. StrandedPanda.com is where you can find all of our podcasts. And thank you for listening. Check us out wherever you get podcasts. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the little bell icon, whatever you have on whatever service you're doing. Rate us, like us. We're really thirsty. That's what I'm saying.